Hello and welcome back to my channel. If you're new on this channel, hi, my name is Lorraine, and if you're a returning subscriber, you guys already know the vibes. Thank you so much for always coming back to watch my videos. So today makes it exactly 7 weeks after I gave birth. That means I'm almost 2 months into my postpartum journey, and today has been by far the hardest day of my postpartum journey. Though when I think about it, I think I've had many hard days, but today was particularly hard to the extent that I actually shed a tear or two. So baby was not sleeping at night. He was crying. My husband is back at work now, so it's just me at night. It's me and him. He was crying, he was fussy, he didn't want me to put him down, so I was holding him for most of the night, and it just got to a point where I was frustrated. I didn't know what to do, and I shed a tear or two. But after I'd collected myself, I was like, who sent me to have a baby? By the way, who sent me? Nobody sent me. And it also got me thinking about all the things that happen after the baby is here that nobody talks about. I feel like people put a lot of emphasis on the pregnancy itself, the birth and delivery. That's like the star of the pregnancy journey, but not a lot of people talk about the 4th trimester, the postpartum journey. And I just wanted to quickly come and talk to you guys about my experience so far, what has been happening with my body and all that good stuff, just in case you're a first-time mom and you want to know what to expect. This is the video for you. So before I start talking too much, let's get into today's video. So let me take you guys back to exactly what happened after I gave birth. So I gave birth vaginally, and when I was giving birth, I had some tears down there. So the nurse was like, you know what, you don't have a lot of tears. I'm just going to put 1 or 2 stitches, which ended up being 3 stitches, so that things can just get back together down there, but otherwise it's not much, you'll be fine. And the way she made it sound, it was like easy, it's not going to be hard. But let me tell you guys, let me tell you something those stitches showed me flames. There were only 3 stitches, but it felt like there was a lot of stitches down there. So the stitches made everything difficult, especially sitting. And I had to do a lot of sitting while breastfeeding the baby, because when the baby is still new, when they're still young like that, you can't necessarily be breastfeeding them while lying down. You have to sit up to breastfeed them. And you guys, finding a comfortable position to sit in was an extreme sport. I tried it all. I tried piling blankets just so I could make the mattress more comfortable. I tried putting pillows down there. I tried it all, but it was all in vain, I'm afraid. No matter how much I tried, the pain of the stitches was still there, and I would just end up enduring it so that I could just breastfeed my baby. So if you are going to give birth vaginally, pray to your God that you don't get tears down there, because nobody prepares you for that pain. And it's not only sitting, it's standing, it's walking, and it's going to the toilet. I ended up dreading going to the toilet, because after you pee and that pee trickles down to the stitches, there's a certain type of pain that you feel. You know how you feel when you when you get salt onto a wound? That is the pain I would feel after peeing. And let's not even talk about doing number two after you give birth. They are more than an extreme sport, you guys. So, you guys, baby's up. Like I said, today has been one of the hardest days so far since I gave birth to him. He's really been fussy, and I'd started recording this video, but this has happened and it's not going to stop me. He likes being carried, so I just put him on my back and we're going to continue. Nobody prepares you for the amount of blood you are going to lose after you give birth. So remember myself as a first-time mom, they give you that list at the hospital of things to buy in preparation for the delivery and after delivery. And they said like you have to buy that big pack of cotton wool. I'm not sure if it's 500 grams or something like that. And my mind was like, that's a lot of cotton wool. Am I going to be using that much? And I also didn't buy like a lot of maternity pads. I was just being a new mom. You don't know what's going to hit you. But let me tell you something. You are going to use all of that cotton wool and probably more. This time around, I was experienced, obviously, because this is my third baby. You're going to be changing that cotton wool and those pads every 2 to 3 hours, even more than that if you are bleeding heavily. If you thought you bought enough pads, go and buy some more, because the bleeding is going to continue for maybe a week or two. Obviously, this differs from woman to woman. We are all different, but for most of the time, it's going to go on for at least 2 weeks. After the blood had gone, there was some water that started coming out. There was a discharge that was watery that started coming out. And you guys, that discharge had a terrible smell. I was so conscious of myself, and I just thought everyone around me can smell it. And obviously, being the researcher that I am, I went straight to Dr. Google to try and figure out what was happening to my body, because this was the first time I was experiencing this. And I found the answers on Google. It was just an explanation of something about your uterus, cleaning up, trying to just clean up and get back to itself, about white cells and things like that. If I find it, I'll put it on the screen here, but I definitely experienced that foul smell. It was terrible, you guys. It made me clean myself down there several times a day, because I just felt like if I don't do that, I'm just going to be smelling around the house and people are not going to want to have me around. But it obviously went away after some few weeks, after the discharge stopped coming out. Have you guys ever heard of the phrase, "I slept like a baby"? They should change that phrase to maybe "I slept like a toddler," because toddlers sleep because of all the activity they do during the day. They are running up and down, doing one or two things which require a lot of energy. So when it comes to nighttime, they are asleep. At least that's what my toddlers do. But you see, these people here, the babies, there is no sleeping, especially at night. It's like during the day they can sleep, but the moment it's dark outside, babies are just like, I'm up, I'm ready, I'm about to start my day. And that's when you're feeling tired, that's when you're getting ready to sleep. So just know that you are going to experience sleepless nights. It does get better with time. Some days are good, some days are bad, and my experience with this little one so far has not been bad. He sleeps well on some days, but other days, like today, when his colic is acting up, he will not sleep. He wants to be held, he wants to be comforted. Sometimes we'll do skin to skin. I'll put him on my chest while I'm laying on my back, and that way he can get like maybe 30 to 45 minutes of sleep. But for the most part, I'm constantly waking up during the night to breastfeed him, to calm him when he's crying. And by the time you think that sleep that comes around 3 to 4 a.m. when it's getting sweet, when it's getting good, that's when the baby wakes up. That is the reality of being a mom. Forget about sleep. Just forget about it. If you are pregnant and complaining about not being able to sleep because of the big belly, well, let me tell you, it's just going to get worse when baby comes, especially if they have colic. I feel like out of all the kids that I've had, this one has definitely struggled a bit with colic. Nobody talks about the pain of breastfeeding. Yes, guys, breastfeeding can be painful. Thankfully, with Ethan, he didn't really give me a lot of troubles when it came to breastfeeding. He latched on really well just after birth, and so my milk supply quickly came in. But I remember myself as a new mom in Bulawayo Hospital, 2015, after I gave birth to my first child. She was really small. I think she was 2.1 kg and couldn't latch on to my breast. I've got really fairly generally big breast, and you know, her mouth was tiny. She couldn't latch onto the nipples, and I remember she cried so much during the night that I started crying. I called my mom at night and I was like, please come and help me, I don't know what to do, I'm struggling. And she got on the next bus to Blueyo. And so yeah, breastfeeding sometimes can be really painful, and you can sometimes get cracks on your nipples. I fortunately didn't experience that with baby Ethan this time around, but the first time I actually had cracked nipples just from the baby trying so much to get the milk out. So I know there are many creams on the market to try and help with the cracking of the nipples. You can definitely try that. I personally have never tried the nipple cream. They just heal on their own, and eventually it goes away. The more they suck, the more you get used to it, and you know, it goes away on its own, but it's definitely going to be hard. So the next thing that I experienced when I was breastfeeding the baby were contractions. So this is due to your uterus just trying to contract to get back to its normal size, because you know, when you're pregnant, your uterus expands to accommodate the baby, but as soon as you give birth, the work begins. It just tries to get back to its normal size. So every time your baby is sucking your breast, you are going to experience those contractions, and those contractions are not fun, you guys. They are not fun. And what will happen is you end up dreading breastfeeding your baby. I know I would, you know, just dread breastfeeding, because I knew that every time he started sucking the breast, he started drinking the milk, the contractions would kick in, but they go away after a week or two, but they are really intense. They are there. The pain is bearable, but it's there. So you can look forward to that. So the next and probably the last thing I'm going to talk about, because baby is getting fussy here, I just need to make this video quick, is my body after birth. This is a huge topic for women, and you know, people have got pressure to bounce back, but me, you see me, I'm not bouncing anyway. I am not bouncing anyway. Instead, I am like crawling back to, not even crawling back, because I'm not trying to get back to anything. You know, I have a problem with this bouncing back. Where are you bouncing back to? I feel like after you give birth, there is no bouncing back to anyway. No matter how much you try, you can go back to your weight, to your pre-baby weight, but you're never going to be the same person again, because a whole human has just come out of you. It's definitely going to leave a mark, okay? So I don't feel any pressure to bounce back. I still look very much pregnant. Let me see if I can show you guys my tummy. So this is what my stomach looks like. Side view, front view, then the other side view. So that is what my stomach currently looks like. It definitely looks like I'm about 3 or 4 months pregnant, but there is no pressure, you guys. I'm just giving myself time to heal. I've got the rest of my life to lose baby weight. I've got the rest of my life to be postpartum. You know, I was just thinking, like, when does the postpartum journey end? When can you stop saying that I am postpartum? Because even before I got pregnant with this baby, I felt like I was still wrestling my the fupa, the fat from my last child from 4 years ago. So I don't know if it's only me. If you've experienced this, let me know in the comment section. I feel like I'm eating more now that I am breastfeeding than I was actually doing when I was pregnant. You know how people say you gain weight during pregnancy? For me, yes, I will gain weight during pregnancy, but I will gain more weight after I give birth. And I think this is due to the fact that when I'm pregnant, I have a lot of food aversions, so I don't eat a lot of things. I'm very picky with what I'm eating. But as soon as I give birth, it's like my taste buds just come back, and I'm like, I'm ready to eat. Everything tastes good. It's slapping. I remember the one thing that I didn't like in my first and second trimester was the bell peppers, the green, yellow, red peppers. I hated them so much. Like, I could smell them from a mile away. And I started eating them, I think in the 3rd trimester, somewhere there. I could tolerate them a bit. But I remember after I gave birth, we had them in our garden, and they just tasted so nice, so sweet, and I would put them in everything. I would just try to put them in the fried rice, the stews, you name it. They tasted so sweet and yummy. So I think that's the other reason why, women gain weight after birth. Your taste buds are back, and also just the general stress that comes with breastfeeding. I tend to stress eat a lot, so when I'm stressed, I will munch on a lot of things, and I think that contributes to the weight gain. Right now we are in the hundreds. The last time I was at the scale, I think I was about 106 kgs. So this has been my experience so far. I'm sure there are things that I have left out. If you experience other things, let me know in the comment section. Let's continue the conversation in the comment section. Let's educate each other, especially to the new moms, on what they can expect to experience after they give birth. I believe that knowledge is power, and with this baby I've just been doing a lot of research, and when I am informed, I feel like I can make better decisions. I feel like I just get into the situation open-minded, with a clear head. I'm not frustrated as to what is happening with me. Why is this happening? I know exactly what's happening, so I tackle it better. So if there's anything that you experience and you feel like it could be of help to someone else, let me know in the comment section. Otherwise, this is the end of today's video. I hope you enjoyed that. Let's hope I didn't talk too much. But until my next one, from me and this handsome boy here, we'll see you. Bye bye.